Hey everyone, thanks for joining us. The next episode of Red Valkyrie is about to start.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Red Valkyrie. I am your host, Shae the Red, and I am here with the amazing, super talented Josh Howard. How are you, sir?
I'm great. How about yourself?
I'm doing good. Unfortunately, showing off a little bit of my sunburn that I got earlier today, but things happen. We move on. So we are here because you have the final in a series for T Bird and Throttle, correct?
That's right. This is part 4. This is the finale of, it's the introductory story arc to my new series.
Ooh, I love it. All right. I'm going to kick it straight over to you for your pitch, and I'm just going to scroll along with you.
Okay, yeah. So T Bird and Throttle is a sci-fi superhero story about a former astronaut who discovered this alien device on the moon. It bonds with him, gives him superpowers. He becomes a superhero known as T Bird, and then things are going well until there's an accident with his powers. This engine is uncontrollable, so it ends up killing his wife and a couple others, and so he loses everything. So the story begins 10 years later as he's picking up the pieces and trying to restart his superhero career. As he's doing that, things start to emerge in the news, and there's some sort of sinister forces working in the shadows to prevent him from coming back. And so the story is kind of about who's behind it, why are they trying to stop him from returning, and what really happened back on that day when his powers went crazy.
Okay. I gotta say, I love that you have a redhead. It makes me really happy. And the funniest thing, when I first was talking to you about it, I was like, oh, this cosplay is gonna be cake. Like, I got the red hair and everything, and then I chopped my hair off, and I was like, oh, that's right.
Oh no.
And I was like, you know what? It's fine. It's fine. I can make it kind of long. It'll be fine. But yeah, I love this look of everything on here. It looks so cool. It looks like a really good, like, 90s-esque kind of comic.
Yeah, I mean that's sort of the inspiration, like 80s, 90s comics and cartoons. Batman the animated series, things like that.
Yeah, it
big influences.
definitely has the Batman animated series feel for sure. And I love the over exaggerated like hip and everything on her. Like she's epic. She makes me really happy. Oh my goodness. So you had a lot of really cool stuff. The bus commissions that are gone now. Original art is gone. Drawn in. Good heavens. Just all of the things.
Yeah, most of them are taken at this point, but you can still get the books. You can still get book 4, or if you've missed out, you can get the whole series and the trade paperback, and that's still available too. So
that is awesome. Okay, so let's go up real quick and let's cover those tiers specifically because I need to back, and I'm still debating on where I'm backing. this is how I do. I'm like, yeah, tell all the people about the tiers, and really, it's for my own purposes, nefarious means. All right, so go ahead over your featured tier.
Okay, yeah. The featured was just book 4. That's for people who have followed along this for the last 3 campaigns and just need to complete their series. I think the next tier is a digital copy of number 4, okay. And then I think we have after that digital copy of 1 through 4 and 0. There's a zero issue, which is like a prequel.
Okay.
And then the next tier I think is probably the trade paperback. The collected edition.
So this is if you missed out on any of it, this is the entirety.
That's right? Everything. It's 1 through 4 and the 0 issue prequel. It has everything. And I should also say each issue, when I say issue 4, each issue is 50 plus pages, like 50 to 60 pages. So it's like 3 regular issues worth of content for each one.
That is insane. So that is looking like the tier that I'm going to get. But okay. I gotta see what you got.
Yeah, and then next you can get some people, will collect, everything. So you can get number 4 and the trade if you want. And then after that, you can get a copy of my previous series, Dead at 17. You can get a copy of that.
Okay, so hold on, wait. What is
Yeah.
Dead at 17? Because I saw this and then I got confused as to where I was gonna back because it's a whole
Okay.
new...
That's the series that sort of, that kind of put me on the map, sort of. I mean, the people that know me, most people know me for that. Like I started out with a small publisher called Viper, and then I moved to Image. But it's basically a horror series about a girl who's raised from the dead and fights demons, cults, that type of thing.
Nice.
Yeah.
This is right up my alley.
So that's the first. Yeah. So that trade paperback is the first 3 volumes you get with that tier.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, and then this is 2 copies of the collected edition.
Yeah, that's for people actually aimed at international backers who want to like team up so they can save on shipping.
Fair, totally fair.
Yeah.
Albino Thunderbun says that he got the collected edition.
Awesome.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
It is epic. And then so all physical backers are getting this.
Yes.
Is that still a thing?
Yes, you get the 5x7 little mini prints, and then also all backers will also get a it's a little bit further down, but they're getting a pinup book. It was the 22,000 stretch goal.
Right here. Oh, yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I have to back now because I mean, the hot redhead pinup book. Like I obviously need it. Oh, that's awesome. I'm actually really excited. So this mini print is so freaking badass. And I'm really excited that is part of it because so you can't see it because I have my green screen up, but behind me, I have my collection of indie comic art and stuff that has come from various campaigns. So the postcards, the stickers, the trading cards, whatever, I've got them all framed up in floating frames, and she needs to be added to that because I'm also a redhead. So and then it'll be goals for me to like actually work out and get ripped.
Hey, you could be the first Throttle cosplay. That'd be awesome.
Currently working on it.
Awesome. Yes.
Not doing a fantastic job, but hey, I put freckles on for you, sir. I'm just saying.
Oh, very appreciated. Thank you.
I've put many freckles on. I've got some, just not enough to show up on camera. Oh my goodness. And look at this. So if you are interested and don't know if this is for you, you can read the 16-page prequel issue as well as the entire 60-page first issue right on the campaign page.
That's right.
Like, why would you not do that?
This is how much I believe in the stories, that I'm willing to give that much away to get you hooked. So
awesome. Oh, Omega Art's already backed. Looks amazing, Josh. Thank you. That is awesome.
Yeah. Thanks.
This pickle thing needs to stop. Seriously, you guys are ridiculous. Okay, just to fill you in, Josh. I made the mistake of being hungry and eating a pickle one time on stream, and that is now that's it. That's life now. This is what I live for, is eating a pickle. Okay, so what stretch goals have we unlocked? So what is all of this?
Yeah, so this one was at 18,000. I added 30 pages to the trade paperback, 30 pages of sketches, basically. This was a sketchbook I released 2017, and it's basically 20 years of sketches from the series. So you'll get that.
That is badass.
Yeah. So
you
can see my very crude beginnings.
No, I love it though, because if you look at it right here, this really reminds me of a lot of the cartoons and stuff that I used to watch growing up, where like it was super exaggerated V and like the upside down triangles and stuff. I love that. That is awesome.
Yeah.
And then we've unlocked the pinup book, which we've already kind of talked about. Gosh, your character design is awesome. Do you have since you're in Demander, I'm assuming you're not doing any other stretch goals?
Yeah, that's probably it. I mean, honestly, I didn't expect it to like go as high as it has. This is like the
Oh,
highest.
really?
Yeah, well, this is the best my campaign's ever, the highest it's ever gone. So
Oh,
I didn't really
wow.
have much mapped out, But I just want to make sure I put all the money back into the books and not spend too much on superfluous stuff.
Yeah.
I want to make the trade as the best book it can be. So, um, I may even end up adding even more pages. So we'll see.
Ooh,
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
Um, okay, so question for you.
Okay.
This is the first of this is like the first story arc. How many story arcs are you thinking?
Um, I've got a lot of stories in mind. However, from now after this one, I'm probably going to do more standalone stories. I mean, they'll all connect as part of an overall connected arc, but the stories will be more. You'll just buy one, and it won't be part of it won't be like one of four or anything. They'll be more standalone. So,
Okay.
yeah, so they'll be easier for people to follow along and stuff.
Awesome. So just kind of basically like little supplementals. Is it still going to follow T Bird and Throttle?
Yes.
Okay. So is it okay? Is it going to be closer to like, when you have the Saturday morning cartoons that are like serialized and everything? Is it going to be closer to kind of doing something like that where you don't necessarily have to watch the other episodes to know what's going on in this one, but you could and then maybe get a little fuller picture or enjoy a little bit more of it?
I'm gonna do the best I can to keep them, accessible. But each one is definitely going to move the story forward in some way. I mean, so they're not going to be throwaway in the sense where you can miss it and keep moving. I mean, they're all going to be essential. I just want to make sure that they're more accessible to new people, if that's
Okay.
if it's, you know. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
This is awesome. I like I said, I'm really digging your story, your line art and the where you're taking the story. It seems like it's a really interesting book. And as somebody who has never read any T Bird and Throttle, um, I'm really excited to get myself probably this tier, if I'm going to be wholly honest, because I also love zombies and occult and all of that. So it's like, I feel like Dead at 17 is probably going to be up my alley too.
Well, yeah, and I have a lot of that similar stuff. There's lots of horror elements in T-Bird as well. I mean, that's my bread and butter really is horror. Like T-Bird and Throttles happens to be an idea I just happen to have. Like it's not like I have, I'm going to do superheroes, like forever. Like it's not my.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I love superheroes, but like it's not my thing as far as when I go to write stories or whatever. But I just happened to
Right.
have this one idea that I thought was, that I fell in love with. So,
How have we never really talked before now? Like that makes no sense to me. Seriously, I'm currently working on a horror anthology. That's why I say that.
okay.
Yeah, that's crazy. I'm right there with you. I love like superheroes are fun, and sometimes I think that it's a nice escape.
Yeah.
But honestly, the thing that I really really love is horror and horror done well, and I think that that's something that a lot of people kind of muck up because like slasher stuff that's never really gotten me. It's always the stuff that you can't explain, the stuff that breaks reality and breaks logic. That's the stuff that really kind of scares me.
Okay.
And that's the stuff that I totally go for when it comes to storytelling because it's to give you a background. I'm 6'1", right? So I'm not a
Oh
small
wow.
woman. Yeah,
Okay.
like I'm not a small woman. So when it comes to like slasher flicks, generally speaking, I'm like, well, if you're a dude or you're a human at all, if I punch you in the nose, your eyes are gonna water. If you're a guy and I kick you in the pills, you're probably gonna be somewhat incapacitated.
Uh-huh.
And so there's like physiology that I can use to my advantage. Plus, I'm not small. I'm not an easy person to take down. But when you break all of that and it turns into, well, you went into a room with a locked door, but whatever it was came up under the floor and got you anyway. Like, well,
Right.
how do you defend against that? There is no defense against that. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
and so that's
So,
that's more what I go for. So I'm
what
excited.
would be a couple of your favorite horror movies then?
I always end up going for like the paranormal.
Okay.
the kind of stuff. Like I am terrible with names, so I can't even like pull one out because I'm on the spot and I suck. But it's always the paranormal ones. Like anytime you talked about the Warrens and all of the stuff that they like, because they're actual people.
Right.
And so, you know, I know a lot of their lore, and going into a lot of the movies that kind of covered it, while the movies themselves may not have necessarily been great, because I understand some of the lore behind it, it makes it scarier for me.
Right.
But that's usually the kind of stuff I go for.
Gotcha.
What about you?
I like a little bit of mix. It kind of depends. I mean, one of my favorite horror movies is actually Blair Witch Project.
That was a really good one. That was
I love it. I love because it's all about your imagination. Like, you know.
Oh yeah.
You know, and then also too, doesn't really get brought up a lot as far as a horror property, but it really is, and that's Twin Peaks.
Yes. Oh, Twin Peaks was so good.
Yeah, it's got some really terrifying moments in it, and that's one of my favorites. So
no, Twin Peaks, hands down, that's one of the best storytelling ever, and it's really suspenseful. It does a really, really good job of building all of that up for sure.
Right.
Albino Thunderbun says that your work is too good to not generate more funding. You just picked up another backer, by the way. This is the reason that I took my screen down.
Nice.
It says, I really hope more people find T Bird and Throttle and maybe getting published to Alterna will pump up future campaign sales total. So are you going through Alterna?
Yeah, they're going to reprint these 4 books in their format and put them in stores. So yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is amazing. I love everything that I've gotten from Alterna so far. I love Peter Smetty. He's an awesome person.
Yeah, isn't he? Yeah.
Seriously, like I hit him up and was like, hey, I ordered stuff and, you know, I just wanted to say hi. And he was like, oh, don't worry, I'm shipping your stuff out, blah, blah, blah. And then I get it. And I was like, do you always just give this much extra? Because holy crap. Like I got all of my Alterna pins and magnets and stuff that are like, they chill right over here because they make me smile and they say I love comics and I love it.
That is awesome.
Oh yeah. No, I'm totally down with Peter. Sorry, I'm getting caught up in all of the chat. So supernatural slashers like Freddy Krueger and Jason Voorhees. I can see that. I'm half and half because it has a supernatural element, which is interesting. But also I don't know, it still feels slightly campy to me. It could be because they're older.
Yeah, I mean, I dig them. Like, it's funny because I tend to like the chapters that everyone else hates, like Halloween. In Halloween 6, they like do this whole like backstory, and like most people hate that. They like him just being mysterious, but there's just like this real cool cult backstory and all this stuff. And I love that. I love it. Gives it more layers. So
yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah. So,
ooh, here's a good question. Is there a difference between horror and thriller? I say absolutely yes, but
yeah.
Do you agree?
I would say thriller probably. I tend to think of things that don't have a supernatural element to them.
Well, okay, so here's another way to look at thrillers: is some thrillers are not like they're unsettling, but there's thrillers that we have thrillers where it can be. Gosh, dang it! I always mess this one up. It's a movie that has Jude Law and one other person that I can't remember right now, but it's literally 2 people and it takes place in one setting, and it used to be a play, and so they ended up doing this huge like back and forth, and basically what it was a married woman took a lover, and her lover came to confront the husband and said, basically, you have to let her go. And the husband said no. And that entire movie, it's not scary. It's suspenseful.
Right.
So the whole movie is a thriller, but it's not a horror.
Yeah. Makes sense.
So things like that is what I would say.
Yeah.
So if you are just now getting here, we are on a slight bit of a time crunch. And so we've got 10-ish more minutes. So if you have questions for Mr. Josh Howard, I'm going to need you to start posting those like right now so we can talk about them and ask them. My question for you is, so have you been drawing T Bird and Throttle for, you said, for 20 years?
Well, I had the idea about 20 years ago. I was working at a comic store like 1999, 2000.
Okay.
And I was always, drawing comics and stuff on my breaks. And so
Mhm.
that's when I created like T Bird and Throttle and Dead at 17 basically at the same time.
Mhm.
But obviously Dead at 17 came first. And so I just would work on it, come back to it every couple of years. I would add more to it, do more character designs and things like that. And just was always trying to get it off the ground, but the timing was just never right until 3 years ago when crowdfunding became super viable. A viable way to skip and go around the publishers and do your own thing. So it seemed like the perfect vehicle to make it happen.
Absolutely. And when crowdfunding is done well, it's very, very lucrative for a lot of people. The thing I like personally is the fact that a lot of these indie stories, I've gotten a couple of them that have just been so, so good. And had it not been for something like Indiegogo or some other indie publisher, they would have never been heard, because there's no way that any of the major comic book companies were going to be like, yeah, that's a good one, we're going to go ahead and invest in it. They'd be like, oh, that's risky, I don't know if we're going to. And there's so many amazing stories that these indie creators have that otherwise would never get told. Just like you said, you've been working on this for years off and on. And that's, imagine if you never had this opportunity where you were like, no, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to crowdfund it and it'll be fine. You might have, this story would have never come to fruition. And it seems like an amazing damn story. I mean, you have 438 backers so far. We have I'm not sure if Josh is still there. We might be losing him early, because why wouldn't we? That is a bummer. Keep your questions coming. I'm going to see if there is a way that we can get Josh back. And if not, then we might have to end the stream, and I'll have to post questions to him after. All right, let me pull up. Yep, there he goes. Unfortunately, let me pull the campaign back up. Oh, welcome back.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now, yes.
Okay, all right.
Oh, technology is fun, people, especially when you're doing it mobile. So, yep. Yeah. He's, you know what, Michael? Shut up. Yeah, he's currently streaming to us on his phone, so it's not super awesome on StreamYard sometimes.
No.
They're trying.
What were we saying? I was talking about anyway. So yeah, like T Bird and Throttle, because of its superheroes. So a lot of indie publishers, obviously, most of them won't do superheroes for obvious reasons, right? Yeah. And of course, Marvel and DC are going to take new ideas. So I knew it was always an uphill battle. And plus, I always wanted to do that in a really big format. So there were so many different factors, and that I just knew that the best way for me to do it was do it on my own.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
And of course, yeah, now I'm going to be going alternative. So
that's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Lothar, 439 backers now. Thank you very much, sir. You are awesome.
Oh yes, thank you.
That is epic. Listen, I didn't kick him, but I'm about to kick all of you the next time you're on my streams, just so you know. So we did have a couple of questions. Where was that first one? Oh no, I'm losing it. Damn it. One of them was, there it is. Gus Tyler Bush. Who are your art influences?
I would say earliest influences are Frank Miller, Bruce Timm, Eric Larson, Art Adams, Jack Kirby, you know, all the greats.
Right. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And makes perfect sense, especially if you look at your style. Jason wants to know, is T Bird and Throttle your first venture into the comics realm?
It is not. I've been doing comics professionally since 2003. So
Dang.
I've been around.
Been around for just a minute.
Yeah.
Just a hot minute.
But I've built a whole new audience with T Bird and Throttle, so it's been awesome. So
yeah, I mean, like I was saying, I think that when creators, because you can go and work on someone else's project, and that's all well and good, but everybody's got a story to tell to some extent, and so I think that being able to tell your own is probably way better. At least in my mind, it would be.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like I work. Yeah, I never imagined. I mean, I always wanted to work in comics, but I don't know. The idea of just toiling away on other people's characters, I couldn't do it. So,
Yeah. I don't think I would be able to only work on other people's projects. I would have to do something of my own. So I'm trying. Like I actually had a couple people who have reached out to have me help with certain things, but I'm working on my own thing, and we'll see if I actually ever do anything with it or not.
Awesome. All right.
Michael Bancroft actually has a real question. He says, are your freckles consistent across the comic? I'm going to assume no, because that would be impossible. But
define consistent. Are they always there? Yes.
Are they always in the same spot?
Not necessarily. No.
Yeah, that's a different level of like OCD attention to literally be like, this last one was a 1/4 inch from her eye, and this one was an 1/8 of an inch from that one, and this one was this big, and oh my gosh.
I do always try to put 3 on the bridge of her nose. That's the only one I always try to inconsistent on.
As long as she has those 3, we're good.
Yeah.
Max wants to know, is the collection somehow going to be available in the future? I'm assuming through Alterna?
I don't know if they're doing the trade or not. I mean, they're going to be doing, all 4 issues. I'm going to have it up in demand for another couple of weeks. Depending on how many I overprint, I could have some for my store.
Nice.
Down the line in a few months. So, I mean, if you can't do it now, like, it's totally cool. I'm sure there'll be a way to get it later.
Awesome. Worst case scenario, eBay.
There you go.
Where was the other one? There we go. Christopher C wants to know, are your characters based on anyone you know?
Not exactly, but I will say, I mean, I'm sure a lot of creators do this, but there's things about T Bird that I would say are influenced by things I've experienced. Obviously, I've never been an astronaut, I've never had superpowers, but there's aspects that I think I draw from my own life. I'll say that.
Okay. Jason wants to know, do you do everything in the book?
I do everything. I write, draw, color, letter, ship. I do it all.
You're doing fulfillment yourself too?
Yes,
oh my goodness. Yes. Oh, you're going to be a busy man. How many friends you got that you're bribing with beer for that fulfillment party?
I do it solo every time. So.
Oh my goodness.
Yep.
Committed. I like it.
I might be a little bit of a control freak. I don't know. That might have something to do with it.
Just a slight bit.
Yeah.
That doesn't come across at all. Not in the least. At no point does that sound exactly like what you Oh my goodness. Michael is totally down with you doing all of your own everything. He says, a man after my own heart. Jason says that you're crazy. It's fair.
This is true. Yeah.
I mean, it's like crazy like a fox, or maybe just crazy.
Yeah.
CG World Order says you're a triple threat. Oh, welcome, Stefani. We need to figure out how to get you onto a stream and into Indiegogo and all of that. Christopher C also wants to know, have you had any thoughts about putting your books on Amazon?
I mean, not really. I mean, my Dead at 17 is on Amazon. But T Bird, I haven't really thought that far ahead yet. I mean, once I finish it, then we'll that's a possibility.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that's fair. Trying to make sure I'm not missing anybody who is talking. So what other things, do you have anything else that you wanted to kind of let us in on for T Bird and Throttle? Anything else that you're excited about, or
I'm just excited to finally finish the story because it's been on my head for so long. You know, it's something. This is like this book is kind of like my baby because I've like nurtured it and spent so much time, you know, with it in my head and developing it. So I'm excited to be finally here at this, you know, last chapter and to get it out there. And I mean, so far the responses to the first 3 books have been amazing. Like everyone, I've not had a bad comment yet. So
okay, cool.
I mean, knock on wood. So yeah, it's been awesome. Like I said, I've built like a whole new audience with this book. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm just really grateful that everyone's, you know, giving it a chance, and yeah, all the good feedback and enthusiasm for it. It's been amazing.
Yeah, I mean, it's people get excited about good product, and honestly, you've got a really, really good looking book here. Like something that I'm excited about, and I don't normally get super excited about like the more superhero-y side of things, just because I feel like it's kind of done to death. And
Right.
you know, I have the ones that I like, and that's kind of where I stop.
I think you'll find things to like in this book. I have a feeling.
Based on this right here, I feel like you might be right. I feel like there might be some craziness going on that I'm gonna totally be down for.
Yeah, I think so.
All right, so let me just see where you are in backers if we jumped any more. So we did jump up that 1, which is awesome. So $25,190 so far. Do you have a deadline for when you're going to be out of in demand?
It'll be a couple more weeks. I don't know what the exact date is, but yeah, not too much longer.
Okay. So if you are wanting to get in on this, you do not have a whole lot of time left. There's still some really great tiers available.
You know, I want to lock it. I don't want to lock everything yet. Yeah.
You totally roboted out for that. Yep, we might be losing him again.
Okay.
Oh, no, there you are. There you are. You're back. Yay.
All right.
This is stressful.
So we must be hitting. Yeah, I guess we're hitting the wall.
We must be. Yeah. Well, I don't want to make this more stressful or traumatic than it already kind of has been. So hopefully, I'm really hoping that we can have you on either for future projects or if you have any more T Bird and Throttle or anything like that. I would love to have you on again. And even I'll shoot you a link if you are down for potentially hopping on Writing Pros. So we have a show on Sundays where we get a bunch of writers together and we just kind of talk about the process. And we talk about various topics and stuff like that. So if that's something that you're interested in, I'd be more than happy to invite you out to that. But
okay, yeah.
Sweet. I will add you to the room. I am going to end the stream way sooner than I would like to, simply because StreamYard Mobile is absolute horseshit. So
I apologize. I'll have a better setup next time.
It's okay. We're gonna, you know what? We'll get through this together, Josh. It's gonna be okay. I want to thank everyone in the chat for coming out. I know that it was a real quick turnaround from the last one. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for coming out. Please go and back this book. Go make sure that you get your copy of T Bird and Throttle before it is too late. And make sure that you're following Josh on Twitter so you know all of the amazing crap that he's going to be putting out. And I understand I said amazing crap. I'm saying it because you realize that he's probably going to put out as much stuff as humanly possible, and it's all going to be epic because he's a slight control freak, and that is what we love so very much about him and his work. And while you're at it doing stuff, I mean, maybe like, share and subscribe to Red Valkyrie. I'd be okay with that. We're getting really close to our 1K, and I definitely want to be able to have a giant party with you guys, give away a whole bunch of stuff, prints, comics, all kinds of great stuff. So once we hit 1K, then we can start planning that, and probably do it in October-ish, and because that's my birth month, so why not? And it'll be super epic. And thank you guys so much for coming out. Josh, thank you so much. I know that it's been kind of crazy with all of your tech everything, but I appreciate you coming out and hanging out with us. I think we might have lost him again. So thank you guys so much, and we will catch you all next time. See you later.